of reggae, I'm your biggest fan. Tell you already you're the number one. Word on the street. This your show come flat down the scene. Yeah, this is Leela Ike representing for Power of Reggae Radio Show.
PowerReggae.com. Another interview. The voice that you're hearing is the daughter of Colin Davis.
Yeah.
Lovely voice as well. You played about 3 records so far. You're going to get into that project that you're currently promoting, but introduce yourself to our listeners tonight.
Yeah, what's up, Power of Reggae? Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful to be here. I love these basement vibes. I just want to shoot a whole heap of things down here. But yeah, everybody, I'm Naomi Cowan. And as was mentioned, I'm a daughter of Carly Davis and the legendary Tommy Cowan. A daughter of reggae. And my goal is to essentially carry on the legacy, not just of my parents, but the legacy of reggae music that was established across the world. I guess what is it, 60s, 70s is when reggae came alive. So that's what I'm here to do, use my voice and carry on the legacy of our global song coming out to Jamaica.
Okay, you obviously grew up in a musical family. At what age do you think you can pinpoint when you decided that you wanted to do music?
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, it's so funny. I've been singing my whole life because I grew up around it, So every chance I could get, I would find a way to sing. Whether I was in school and there was some kind of competition or pageant, I was Miss Teen Jamaica, so singing was my talent, And then, so I can't really say when. I think I always knew I wanted to do music, but it was a matter of me just diving into it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been playing the piano since I was 5, and I've been performing, ever since I can remember. Doing background vocals for my mom. I have pictures being in the studio with like Christopher Birch, and I'm like this high, at Dynamic Sound Studio in Kingston, with the headphones on, jamming and stuff like that. So I would say, I think music chose me for sure.
Makes sense. Okay, now the music that we've been playing so far, it's from a body of work called Paradise Plum.
Mixtape, yeah, the Paradise Plum mixtape.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it, because I love your rhythm selections on it.
Thank you.
The manuscript, classic rhythm.
Thank you. Babylon Rock, yeah, that's by Vin Gordon, yeah. So, so basically Paradise Plum is my current single, and that's the lead track from the mixtape. But myself and Alpha Lion, or Jason Panton from Word Sound Power, that's a DJ collective I collaborated with in releasing this mixtape. He just gave me a bunch of rhythms. I mean, everything, tempo, Far East rhythm. We had so many, like 20 of them. And we sat down, and my mom was actually there too, and my manager, who's my brother, Nate the Great, big him up. We just sat there and we just listened to. I just like as we went through, I had a piece of paper, each rhythm, I just started to sing whatever came to mind. And so we just kind of determined, all right, this would go well with that, this would go well with that, and we kind of started to bring it together. Now, manuscript song, which is an original. Now that one came, I was by myself actually. It was a Friday night that turned into a Saturday morning, because I had a bunch of rhythms I needed to write on, and that one came literally 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I swear to God, it was the craziest thing, because I was so tired, and I knew I was just behind on getting back to people with the different things. I started, let me listen to this one rhythm, and I just had this picture of the manuscript book that we use in school when we did a music class, and I just saw all these little notes dancing and jumping, and I just went in. So everything you hear on that particular song is everything I sang freestyle in like one morning, that doesn't happen quite often for songwriters, because I'm not a DJ. It's not like I was freestyle rapping, but I just heard, I love you, and then I just saw like someone writing a love story on the manuscript of your heart, and just sang. So I really love that particular track, just because of how magical of a moment it was, because it was just me, myself, and I engineer myself if I'm doing demos and stuff at home. And yeah, I've never experienced anything like that. So that will definitely be part of my EP, right? Which we're working on right now, manuscript song. But we had to drop it on a mixtape because it's sweet. It's have a sweet feeling.
Okay, so you obviously have a plan moving forward with your musical career where you gave your fans the mixtape, working on the EP. Okay, so the mixtape now, for the listeners, where can they go online to find it? Is it something that you made available for free?
Yeah, man, it's available for free on SoundCloud right now through Reggaeville. And it's also on my SoundCloud. I have each track separated if you prefer to listen song for song. But Reggaeville released the entire mixtape about a week and a half ago. And the link is also in my Instagram bio. My Instagram is Naomi Cowan, Naomicowan, very easy to find. Or if you just go on SoundCloud and look up Paradise Plum, I think I'm the only person with that song right now, with anything of that name. So you'll see the mixtape, you'll see the single, and all of the content related to that. So definitely check out the mixtape. I've been told I need to put it on YouTube, so I'll do that for my supporters for sure. Don't take a thing. Just didn't know if I was allowed, but I think if it's promotional, it should be okay.
If the lyrics is the most important part, so you should be able to put that on YouTube.
Dope.
Now, again, touching back on the rhythm selection, it shows your musical awareness.
Yes.
Apart from that, you're also a songwriter. Former Miss Jamaica, you said?
Miss Teen Jamaica, yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot going on for Miss Naomi Cowan. So now the mixtape, you've released it. What is the feedback you've gotten so far?
Yeah, man. So the feedback has been positive. Even Father Drummond here was really blessing me up with some positive feedback. Same thing as you said. A lot of people have just said, "Boy, this is just a sweet summer feel." You know, it gives them the oldies, but obviously I'm not a crooner and an R&B singer, so you get a fresh voice over these older rhythms. And then I also have covers of some older songs, you know, like I did Shania Twain's From This Moment over Real Rock. And every Jamaican love a Shania Twain. You can't deny Shania, you can't deny Celine Dion, Faith Hill. Like there are some key voices that Jamaicans love. So to put that over Real Rock is just, you know. And then I did Ace of Base, which that came, Ace of Base over a rhythm called Dub Softly. And that was my personal thing, because I remember that album, Cruel Summer by Ace of Base. My older sister used to listen to the cassette over and over and over and over and over and over. So every track on that album, if you play that album for me straight right now, I may not know the songs now, but if you play them, I'm gonna be able to sing them. So All That She Wants, you know, is just it's a song that resonates with me. So I put that on there. So the feedback has just been like, you know, coming from different places. Like when I performed All That She Wants, people are like, all right, because it kind of droppy and it have a little, you know, the very heavy rhythm. And then of course for manuscript song, people are just, they kind of go, oh, I like this, and they feel like I can see them feeling it. So I can't complain, and I'm just really grateful that, you know, I could collaborate with a creative, you know, unit like Word Sound Power to come up with something like this. My mom also played a big role in this because she helped me a lot just with back vocals and working with the engineer in the moments when I couldn't be there, because I also work with my dad on our family business, and so sometimes I'm at the office, but you know, mom will stay home and help with some of my vocal arrangement, which I'm really grateful for, because we sound alike, right? So at least we have the same tone of voice. So if she do a BV for me, nobody don't know, or if I do a BV for her, nobody don't know, right? So it really was a work of labor and love for everybody involved.
You guys are letting out the secrets.
I know anybody that will know Power over me knows, but
okay,
what
we're going to do is we're going to get back into Paradise Plum, give the listeners some more music off of that. My final question to you before we segue into the music would be, apart from your mother and having your sister play these cassette tapes, who would you say inspired Naomi Cowan to do music and do the music that you're currently doing?
Well, yeah, I would say Alicia Keys, to be honest. I saw her perform in Jamaica a long time ago. She was on our jazz festival, and I was pretty young, but you know, it was the first time I saw a female performing live behind an instrument like a piano, and I was just in love, you know. And then Alicia Keys, she's also an alto, singer-wise, and she has a huskier voice. I naturally have a raspy voice, and I'm not a soprano, and I could sing every one of her songs, and I was like, wow, somebody I can sing to. Because, you know, one of the fears I used to have growing up was that I couldn't sing. I used to think I wasn't a good enough singer. Because when you grow up in Jamaica or in any community of people of African descent, we tend to praise the people that are like, ah, you know, like in church, amazing, you know, all of them kind of things. And I'm not a runner like that. I mean, I can sing with runs, but that's just not my style. And so I thought that my voice was too white. I thought like, oh, I'm not a good singer. You know, like if I sing the national anthem, then we're booming. And you know, Jamaica tough in general, like any Jamaican audience tough. So I got really shy because I thought I didn't have a big enough or like a really sort of black enough voice. Because my voice is pretty big. And so when I heard Alicia Keys and she's like, I keep on falling, I was like, you know, and I listened to her whole album, songs in A minor, top to bottom. And I just even started to just play her songs on the piano. And so yeah, she was one of my first places of influence for sure in just building vocal confidence, in recognizing, yo, we can have a unique sound and a tone and connect with people. And then another artist, her name is Corinne Bailey Ray. You know, she kind of inspired me to pick up the guitar. Justin Nozuka, which is a Canadian indie folk guy, but his stuff has a lot of reggae influence. You can hear it in his strumming and even in how he sings. And then, funnily enough, you know, Robin Thicke's first album, The Evolution of Robin Thicke, that one, that entire album, dope, I love it. So there are certain albums and in certain artists, you know, just different parts of their work that, but definitely my first place where I was like, was Alicia Keys, you know? If I could ever meet her, I would just give her like the longest hug and just tell her thank you for being herself, because what I loved about her was that, you know, she never, like obviously she's a marketed product, right? But I remember even watching her on MTV when she first got signed to Clive Davis, and you know, they had her like, same thing, like behind a piano, and she was kind of gangster, and she was just like sexy gangster, cool, you know, not too raunchy, just a roots girl. And I've always loved that about her. So yeah, all props, not all props, but big props to her, and hopefully one day she and I will connect, yeah.
Yes, we want to hope for that. Johnny, we're going to get back into the Paradise Club, come back with some more questions for Miss Naomi Cowan, PowerReggae.com, Power Reggae Radio.
She leads a lonely life. All that she wants is another baby. She's gonna marvel. All that she wants.
Power Reggae Radio, PowerReggae.com. We're back with Miss Naomi Cowan. That mixtape is going to be my new thing. As soon as I leave,
Yeah, make your summer loving list. Hey.
Tell us, before we tune out with the interview, tell us a little bit more of what the listeners can expect on the mixtape. Tell us a little bit about your writing style as well. Obviously, the choice of rhythms once again were
Thank you very much.
So, when we're finished with the interview and the listeners head over to SoundCloud, what can they expect from the whole project?
Yeah, well, they can expect a nice variety of, you know, something that feels like a lover's rock. There's a track called None of Jaja Children featuring Daviana. She's actually Tony Rebel's daughter. You know, that song is a little bit more like what we would say like art, like very roots, and she's a DJ, you know, and that song was also originally released by Ross Michael. My dad produced that whole album for him, and it's like, none of Jaja children don't cry. Very, you know, a big message tune. So that kind of switches up on you, and you're like, oh, okay, there's two girls kind of getting a little rude on the thing, you know, so they can expect that. And then I have Romaine Berger also on track number 2. We did Water Pumping Rhythm, and we did Junior Tucker's Love of a Lifetime, mashed it up with Everything I Own, most known by done by Ken Booth. You know, so you can expect that vibe. And then also there's a Jamaican group called Equinox Music. They do a lot of work with Red Bull.
Shout out to Brown Man.
Yeah, exactly. So Shanique Marie, she and I have our own little mashup as well. So yeah, you can expect to not only hear my voice, but some voices I really love and respect. You know, I actually asked Shanique to be on track with on a mixtape with me because I've known her for a long time. She's like a sister to me, and you know, it was just an honor to have her. Same with Romain, like I just love his energy. His entire presence as an artist is something that I emulate. And yeah, so I wanted to have him on. And in Daviana, one time I was on a show, same show as her, so she had performed with her dad, and I performed with my mom at the Women's Day event in March. And I heard her DJ say, no, so this girl bad, like, you know, and I knew I wanted to put Nana Jaja Children on a mixtape, but I didn't know how. And I sent her the original, sent her the rhythm. She sent me back the thing in like a day or two. I mean, she just have lyrics like that. So yeah, definitely just, those are the things you can look forward to. And there's also a little piece of a sneak preview of a song called So Right, that is going to be my next release. You know, working with Jamie Rodigan in the UK on that one. And so you hear me do that a cappella. So yeah, you'll hear some stuff on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gave us a little bit more, and I'm even more excited now. That young lady that you mentioned, Shanique.
Shanique Marie.
Shines. That's one of my favorite new artists, and I just couldn't find enough music on her.
She has an EP, I think it was called Uno.
She has a record named Fanke that she just...
Fanke. Mother gonna dance in the back of Fanke. With Yardcore and Kabaka, yeah.
So I'm definitely heading over to SoundCloud.
She's dope, and she's originally a jazz vocalist, which is what's cool about her. So she's super versatile. I love and respect her a lot.
Before we tune out, we're gonna let the listeners get a live preview in the studio.
Yeah.
Johnny, you got that Ross Michael rhythm that she was just speaking about? Okay. All right. Just bless us with a rhythm and let her tune this out. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners before we tune out?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. You know, there's so many people supporting my music, my brand, everything, and it's coming all from a very good place. So I just want people to just continue to send love, not just to me, but to other emerging acts. You know, this is the reason why we do it. We really make music for others, not for ourselves. Otherwise, I'd just be at home playing the guitar, right? So just give thanks for all of that. Yeah, man, and just, yeah.
Singing sweet melodies, me love every little thing about you. From this moment, life has begun. From this moment, you are the one right beside you. Is where I belong. From this moment on.
Yeah, here it is. Tell them no it.
And everybody get ready, do the rock steady. It's Baba one time this year. Boy, don't lose the beat now. Just move your hips now. It's festival time this year,
And we hear the people say, boom, boom, Baba, boom, boom, ah, boom, festival, boom, boom, Baba, boom, boom, ah, boom, boom, festival.
things you say you love, well you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You can't last too long with the weak dogs they're playing. Power of reggae, them take the crown from them. That's why I say lose, yes. So why you lose?
You're my paradise, though.
You, baby, you never put up a fight, no. You just know me like we knew. We never had to say your word, not a sound. Silence. We're spending time on the regular. We're passing days when you just call up on my cellular.
Yeah, this is your paradise from Naomi Cowan. You tuned into Power of Reggae. Thank you for having me. Giving thanks. Looking forward to giving you more music.
Definitely a pleasure. Tune in next week, 6 to 9, Power Reggae Radio, powerreggae.com. Thank you.